started life as a car name. It's about to become a brand in its own right. On this edition of Test Drive, the Ioniq Electric. Hyundai announced the Ioniq nameplate will become a dedicated EV brand in much the same way as Genesis became the portal for its luxury cars. The key is the 3 new models, which will debut over the next 4 years, will be based on a dedicated and scalable EV platform, which is a smart idea. Sadly, the naming strategy is not so bright. The new models, well, they'll be called the Ioniq 5, 6 and 7. In order to get the cargo capacity desired, Hyundai had to jack the back end of this car up a long way. From a functional standpoint, it works because you do get 650 litres of cargo space with the seats up. However, from a practical perspective, it just does not work. This rear deck spoiler sits right in the middle of the rear view mirror, where it's a terrible distraction. Let's do this, brother. While there are hybrid and plug-in hybrid versions of the Ioniq, it is the pure electric that's the better choice. The electric motor, which works with a single-speed transmission, produces 134 horsepower and 218 pound-feet of torque. At first blush, the numbers don't leap off the page. However, given the torque turns up for work at Rev 1, the level of performance is surprisingly good in everyday driving. Yes, it does tend to get weak at higher speeds, but for the cut and thrust of the morning commute, it's more than fine. Now, while you can change the amount of regen braking on the Ioniq, it does have a nit. Even when you set it to maximum regen braking, when you hit 15 kilometers an hour, the regen cuts off. That means you've got to reach for the brake. In the end, it means this thing does not have a one-pedal drive. The electric motor gets its juice from a 38.3 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery. Now, this is up from the previous model's 28 kilowatt-hour battery. The increase in size brings much better overall driving characteristics, and it does so from just about any standpoint. The downside is it takes over 35 hours to charge if you're stuck using a 110-volt outlet. The good news is it now accepts an 80% charge from a fast charger in less than an hour. So sit back, sip a coffee, and it's ready to roll in short order. Now, the cabin of this Ioniq is very nicely finished. All of the mod cons and a full suite of safety equipment. Now, what I did notice is the driving range promised by Hyundai is not what you get. You get more. Hyundai says 274k on a charge. I was getting more than 325 kilometers every time I recharged it. And that 325, by the way, it was attainable. The other plus for the Ioniq EV is placing the large battery low in the vehicle brings a lower center of gravity, which improves the handling. As it sits, the suspension is pretty basic with front struts and a lowly twist beam at the back. The good news is it works surprisingly well. The setup is skewed towards the comfort side of the spectrum, but through the pylons it managed to hold its own. There was minimal body roll and the feel and feedback from the steering was up to snuff. The limiting factor proved to be the 205 60R16 tyres. They're designed to improve efficiency and driving distance. They do that, but at the expense of grip, so understeer is never far away. You know, this Ioniq really is a decent little car. Very nice cabin, it handles well, it's got perky performance, and it's got enough driving range that you won't get anxiety. The good news is, for many owners, they'll only have to recharge it once a week and never go back to a gas station. How sweet is that?
So here's the question, where were you 32 years ago? I know some of you weren't even a glint in your father's eye. As for me, well, I was in diapers, but found time to get Motoring TV off the ground. And today I like to think we've got one of the best automotive video libraries in the world. If you agree, please give us the thumbs up and also subscribe. We'd really appreciate it.